Welcome into Around the Felt. I'm your host, Reagan Loescher. Here with me today is my co-host, Colin Tong. We're already on episode number 45, closing in on that big 5-0 in the last week of the NFL regular season. Crazy we're already here, man. It's just we were talking about division breakdowns just so long ago.
Yeah, I know, dude. It seems like that was yesterday. Now here we are. That's how football season goes, you know?
I'm sad.
But Week 18 should be fun, minus all the backup quarterbacks, but then it's playoff time, and that's when it really heats up.
Oh, it's going to heat up. I'm excited for playoffs. Come on. Playoff football? Who doesn't love it? And
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. You finish your thought.
I'm just a giddy schoolgirl.
I was going to say, speaking of heating up, that leads right into our news. There was a fire at Tyreek Hill's house.
Yeah,
caused by a child. Luckily, no one was harmed, but Tyreek left practice.
Caused by a child. That's wild.
I know. Crazy. And then I saw the picture of his mansion. I'm like, okay, well, that's what $30 million a year gets you.
Yeah.
Luckily, no one was harmed. House. Tyreek's good. They're going to need him this Sunday against Buffalo. Moving on, Saquon reiterates he wants to be a Giant for life. However, this is the first time that he was non-committal about his future and brought up the possibility of testing the open market. Reagan, as a non-Giants fan, what do you predict for Barkley next season? Is he back in blue or is he somewhere else?
I think he's somewhere else because I think somebody else is going to offer him more money. If I were the Giants, I would not offer him that big contract because you know he wants to get paid top dollar, and I don't think they should let him twist their arm. And if he decides to walk because a lesser franchise decides to offer him an extra couple million a year and more guaranteed, then you let him walk. I think it's been proven in the draft that you can get guys later in the draft versus paying running backs. They start to decline. So, no, I don't think after seeing the amount of running backs who've got that contract and what they've done production-wise after the contract, that it's worth it.
I understand that entire argument. And you bring up a team that has a lot of money, potentially the Chicago Bears.
Yeah,
that team's
and they're
on the come up,
too.
On the come up, and they have a ton of cap space. Like they would pay him an extra $2 to $3 million a year than the Giants would. I'd imagine.
I think they would, yes, and he would fit well in that system. I feel like.
But the Giants do still have $50 million cap, so there is room for Barkley. He says he wants something fair. He says he does not want to be tagged. I can't imagine the Giants are going to tag him again because that was a whole fiasco last year.
It would be foolish, yeah.
Now, if I was not a Giants fan, I'd have a completely different mindset on this. Barkley's my favorite player of all time, so I want him back in blue. He wants to retire a Giant. I'd love to see it, but this is probably the most nervous I have been to this point.
Really? Yeah, no, I mean, I guess there's a chance he goes to the Jets, considering him and his dad are Jet fans growing up. So.
I doubt it with Breece Hall, but
you never know. Maybe he takes a player-friendly deal.
Well, if he's going to take a player-friendly deal, why would he do it for the Jets and not the Giants?
To make Pops happy.
Yeah. Okay.
Paps, you know?
Okay. If you say so. Reagan, there were a couple Pro Bowl snubs. Most notably, Josh Allen, Brandon Ayuk, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got a problem?
Those are the most notable ones to you?
Yeah, who were you thinking?
L'Jarius Sneed, Jalen Hurts.
Sneed, yes.
Quincy Williams. Okereke. But in fairness, they don't take a lot of middle linebackers. I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, those are some other big ones.
Those are big ones. Do you got a problem with any of those guys being left off? Is there anyone that you would put on? Just for the AFC quarterbacks were Tua, Lamar, and Mahomes. Would you put Allen over Tua or Mahomes?
Not over Tua, yes, over Mahomes. Mahomes is not having a Pro Bowl type season. It's just he's Patrick Mahomes, and the fans have a big factor in this. Allen's the better quarterback this year. Allen's on the better team. They have a better record. They're just in a harder division. I think if you put the Bills in the AFC West, they have 11 or 12 wins.
Yeah, I agree. I would have taken Allen over Mahomes this year as well. I believe Allen has the most touchdowns in the league.
Yes, he does. He has the most turnovers and I think the most touchdowns.
That was interesting to me. Now, NFC receivers, it was CeeDee, A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, and Puka. So obviously,
that's right.
No Ayuk and no Amon-Ra.
That's why I don't know. That's why it's hard to say they were snubbed.
It's a loaded group. I mean.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like A.J. Brown's really tailed off that you could make a case that Amon-Ra should be in there over A.J. Brown.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. There's so many good receivers in this league.
I'd say one of them will get in anyway because there'll be guys opting out. I think Sneed may be the biggest snub out of all of them, though, because he's been, the best.
Sneed has been
He's been better, honestly, he's been the best corner in the NFL this year, I'd say.
Yeah,
he's been shutting guys down.
He has been absolutely
shutting guys down. So that's a mega snub, which is crazy for a guy on the Chiefs.
You mentioned Okereke. The two linebackers are Fred Warner and Bobby Wagner.
That's why
tough.
And they don't bring extra linebackers. You know what I mean? They only put in two, and that's the same issue that Quincy Williams ran into in the AFC because they brought both Ravens interior linebackers, Queen and Smith. So
now the AFC corners were Pat Surtain, Sauce, Jalen Ramsey, Denzel Ward.
Yeah, I'd take Ramsey out of there just because he hasn't played the full season.
He did miss a lot of games,
so that's why.
It's definitely a fan vote.
Definitely
Don't get me wrong; when he got back, he was very good. He forced a lot of.
He didn't
turnovers.
play a full season.
Yeah, he didn't play a full season. So I get your argument there. And finally, Dalvin Cook to the Ravens. We mentioned on the pod yesterday. Josine Anderson mentioned Ravens
think about the
and
odds
Dallas.
Changes on that. They probably went from plus 300 to plus 300 after that move. I mean, that's a.
Gus the Bus, Justice Hill, Dalvin Cook, Melvin Gordon. It'll be interesting to see in the playoffs how they disperse those
Dalvin Cook
carries.
ends up being good and gets a lot of roles. Like if he ends up doing well in the playoffs, I'm gonna be so freaking mad because I hate to root against the guy, but I also just don't want to see him succeed.
That Baltimore offense is no Jets offense. That O-line is much different than the Jets O-line, so we'll see. I mean, he's got fresh legs. He didn't play much this year.
Yeah, he does.
He has fresh legs. So, I mean, maybe he can make an impact down the stretch. Be interesting to see. Maybe Dalvin Cook anytime touchdown in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely interested.
Who knows? All right.
I'm definitely interested.
We're going to transition over to questions, and it's going to be Drock reading them today.
Yep.
Are you excited, Drock?
Presented by Drock.
Presented by Drock's Locks. The questions for the day.
You could almost assume who's going to be the first. Austin. First question by Austin. If Michigan wins the national title, does Jim Harbaugh, how do you pronounce his name?
Harbaugh,
sign a new contract with Michigan? Or does he look to the NFL and sign a contract to become head coach of an NFL team?
That's a good question, Austin.
He's staying Austin.
I'm going to say, regardless, win or lose, Harbaugh's to the NFL. The NCAA, even though they suspended him 3 games, they're still up his ass. He hired an agent that has a lot of ties in NFL circles, and there's a lot of openings, and I think he can get a lot of money to move to the NFL. Although, I mean, Michigan's going to pay him a ton as well. The Chargers job is very enticing. I mean, with Carolina, do you want to be with David Tepper and that ownership? I doubt that's where he'd go, but who knows what other jobs are going to open, man. I mean, maybe he likes New England because he might be picking 2nd overall, 3rd overall, and he can handpick a quarterback, but I think the Chargers are the most likely destination for Harbaugh, given that Herbert's already there, but there's a mess to clean up. But I do think he goes to the league regardless of the outcome. But it'd be nice if he goes out on a championship win in his alma mater.
Yeah, I think he's still going to stay in college. I really just feel like teams don't want the whole clown show that will come with Harbaugh. I mean, the guy's been in the media so much this year. Like, obviously, if he wins, that's huge, but it's a lot. I mean, if he's doing all that in college, and the fact that, I mean, he did bring a team to the Super Bowl in the NFL, but I just feel like teams at this point, like...
He's won everywhere he's been.
Yeah, well, he didn't win in the NFL, but he did make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but his record was very good in the NFL.
Yes. But my point is, I just can't see some of these teams that, like, right now are just trying to figure it out and get better, going out and getting Harbaugh because he brings all that media attention in. I kind of feel like it'll be an Urban Meyer situation in the sense where it's going to be, like, too much media attention going in and teams aren't going to want that. Well, I do think he's a much better coach and will translate more to the NFL because we've seen him translate it to the NFL already. I just don't see a team taking the risk right now.
I just think the biggest thing is the NCAA still wants to punish him, and I think he just wants to get out of there.
Yeah,
like that would be the biggest reason for me.
Very true too.
But he's flirted with the NFL the past couple years, so
and that's what makes.
If there's a time to go, it's probably now because the NCAA will not get off.
If he wins it, then he could go and start to get more titles and build on his college legacy.
He could.
Next question: what team has the most to lose from their Week 17 matchup?
Week 18 matchup.
Yeah, well...
It should be Week 18. Most to lose? I mean, the teams that are winning in.
The Bills have the most to lose.
Buffalo, you could say Houston or Indy.
Yeah, but I'd say No. You can, well, you can, but you can't because Houston and Indy are already way over expectations. Buffalo is a Super Bowl contender coming in.
That's a fair point.
They have the most to lose because they will miss the playoffs after coming in as one of the Super Bowl favorites. If Indiana or Houston loses, especially...
Indiana? The
Hoosiers? More so the Colts, if anything, because they're playing with like a backup quarterback and
it's house money. I get that point.
They're both playing with house money.
You.
So to me, they don't have a ton to lose. Steelers not really, because a lot of those teams don't have Super Bowl expectations. Where the Bills, like, if they get in, the line's gonna, like, they're plus 950 right now with a chance of missing the playoffs. You know what I mean? They're not even locked in.
What would have to happen for them to miss the playoffs? They lose.
Steelers, Jaguars win. They lose.
Steelers, Jags.
So it's not even that crazy.
Baltimore is resting Lamar. Jags got Tennessee, not a good team.
And that's what I'm saying, and that'll be a win and get in game probably at that point.
Yeah,
coming
I
into
mean
that game.
they'll know.
Yeah, they will.
But still, regardless, that's why it's Sunday night, because even if they're in, it's for the division
Yep.
as well. So it's seeding.
Next
Yeah.
question. You guys went over this, but will this be Barkley's last game as a Giant? And if he doesn't go get signed back, what team does he go to? Just give three of your top teams.
Bears, Cowboys.
There's no freaking way. If he goes to the Cowboys, I will cry. I will genuinely cry.
And Philly, because I know Swift's going to be
There's
looking
no
for that.
way. Why just name 2 teams in the NFC East?
There's no way.
Because honestly, A, he played at Penn State. B, if they end up giving him bigger contracts than the Giants do, I feel like he's so pissed off at this point that he'll be like, fuck you for not paying me. I'm going to go ruin you guys for the next couple of years with one of these contenders.
I'm trying to look at teams that have a lot of cap space. Like Commanders, no shot.
Yeah, no,
Tennessee,
Commanders, I don't think there's a shot. No, Tennessee, no.
Houston's got $74 million.
Chicago
Yeah, but I feel like
Could Houston bring in Barkley? $74 million. And you got a quarterback on a rookie deal. If you can pay a running back, it's when your quarterback's on a rookie deal.
I don't think they will, because the way I look at Houston is they're happy with Singletary, and I think they're going to address other needs right now. Like, I could see them addressing another running back, but they still have Dameon Pierce on a good team-friendly deal, and they have Singletary under contract.
Yeah, they're no Barkley. And when you have $74 million, you can
I understand
pay
that.
Barkley
You can,
15.
but I think they're going to address other issues.
Chicago's got $62 million
Chicago,
cap
I could
space.
definitely see.
Detroit has a ton of cap space.
No,
Holy
but that's not
shit.
gonna happen.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Vegas, no. Arizona? Arizona?
I don't know about Arizona, because I don't think he would want to go there. Like, I feel like he'd want to go to a situation where at least they're contending. I could see Vegas.
I actually heard... Okay, this is not confirmed. Someone told me this, and I just remembered. I think one of my friends somehow knew someone that knew Barkley. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
But they said last year, like during the season, that Arizona wanted Barkley. And that was like a person in Barkley's camp like knew that.
Well,
that
they might
wanted
want
Barkley.
him, but that doesn't mean he wants to go there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like...
Like, I feel like if you're going to leave, like, he's going to go somewhere where they'll give him more money, but he'll still be competing. Because think about it. He hasn't done anything in the NFL. Like, he's gone to what? He's been in one playoff game? 2 playoff games? Last year? That was it. So... I think at this point in his career, like, he wants the contract, but he also wants to go somewhere where he can win.
I get that, 100%. Giants have $37 million cap, so they can. I'm just looking at the bottom of the cap, bro. Your Saints have negative $75 million in cap next year. Negative 75.
Derek
That's insane.
Carr, baby.
Wow.
Miami negative 41, Buffalo negative 41, Chargers negative 34.
So what are your 3 teams? You said the Bears, and that was it.
Bears, Houston,
Houston. Okay, and what's the last one?
Giants.
All right,
Hedging
that's
my
fine.
bet.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, we're jumping to Max now. Thanks, Austie.
Bye, Austie.
We have
Bye,
a
Austie.
fantasy question.
What up, Hafe?
Oh, I like this.
How do you prevent someone from trade raping your fellow league mates without being a snake in the grass? It's a good question. Like, how do you approach a trade with your friend?
Okay, so this is inside joke with Hafe and I. I make a lot of deals in my league. Most of them cause some backlash. The league's upset. Because I might know more ball than some of my other league mates sometimes. It just, stuff happens. I make some deals. That's why I was a champ this year. And they're always going to Hafe, asking for advice. So I call Hafe the snake in the grass that's cutting off all my deals. So to your question, Hafe, mind your own damn business.
Well, I mean, the first thing is, like, why are you going to other league mates? Like, I've never understood the idea of going to people in your league to ask about a trade with someone else in your league. Like, he's obviously going to say whatever benefits him best, so you should go to people outside of the league. And to prevent trade raping from happening, I mean, there's not much you can do. I know in leagues I've done, it's a little different for Dynasty, but, like, redrafts, like, once you're officially mathematically eliminated, you cannot trade at all because there's no reason for you to be able to trade. So we cut it off. We moved the deadline up earlier in our league, and unless it's really fishy, we vote on it, but we try not to vote because at the end of the day, if you're paying, like, we do $200, if you're paying that kind of money, you're typically not going to get trade raped. Or just, if you're worried about that, like, don't play in leagues with people that don't know how to play fantasy football. Like, it's simple. Like, if you're going to be paying $200, make sure it's a competitive league because, like, it's one thing if it's a $50 league, but if it's a big league, you got to make sure you're in a league with people that are, like, not going to make stupid trades to ruin it for everybody.
I will say, my biggest pet peeve is vetoes. My whole thing is, if you make a phenomenal trade and I'm pissed about it, I'm not going to veto it. I tip the cap to your negotiating skills. I mean, good job. job well done. Now I got to go do my thing, and I'm going to hit up that league member right away and say, hey, I want this guy because I know you're gettable. If someone wants to veto my trade, I get so pissed because I spent a lot of time negotiating that deal.
You're not good at negotiating trades. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
or I
have a lot of league mates.
You sweet talk the dummies, but like guys that are smart like me, you ain't pulling no shit.
Thanks for CeeDee Lamb last year.
Thanks for Devontae Adams. You won me a chip. Yeah, that really.
Yeah, but you gave me. I mean, I gave you. Oh. He did win you that.
He did win me that
phenomenal championship.
He did. So
I gave you I gave you a 30-year-old wide receiver for Bijan Robinson. So
and what does
I'll
that
take
equal?
That in Dynasty.
And I'll take a belt.
Yeah, you were win now. I got a young stud for the future. It's fine. It's fine. I thought that was a good deal.
Good question. All right, now we got a betting question. I'm not a betting man, but once the Jets get T. Higgins and Joe Alt, what's stopping you? And in parentheses, and everyone who likes free money, and parentheses, from betting them to win the Super Bowl.
All right, so
I can tell you nothing's stopping me, man.
He's calling T. Higgins, huh?
I don't. Like
I was thinking Devontae, T. Higgins would be tough.
I don't like the T. Higgins idea. I'm not gonna lie, but I do like the Joe Alt idea. I really don't want T. Higgins coming.
And then
he
says in asterisk, Joe, make sure not to tell him to get caught off guard in the off-season transactions aspect. But it's not Joe, it's Drock.
It's Drock today.
Wow. Okay,
it's Drock today.
All right. Then if you don't want us to deep dive into that too much, I mean, I'm gonna take it as a Jet fan, but I'll let Colin talk about this a little bit more because like it doesn't really matter. Like they're gonna be my Super Bowl team next year because I'm gonna be like, all right, guys, Roger just got injured last year, but this year we're winning the Super Bowl.
Reagan, do you know where the Jets are in the draft order right now?
Last I checked, we were at 8. Yeah.
Okay, so that is like right around Joe Alt range. So a couple
of notes.
Thing
is we're gonna lose to the Patriots this week. So
yes, you are. I got some good nuggets on that. The thing with the offensive tackles in this class, Olu Fashanu and Joe Alt.
Yes.
Draft guys are saying they're 1A, 1B. Both are phenomenal. In the last 5 years of every offensive tackle, it would be them two and Penei Sewell in the top of the crop.
Ooh.
Those three. So if you get one of the two, that would be ideal. And for the Jets, I think that has to be be target.
I think we should trade for
And I wouldn't even shy away from moving up like 2 spots to get it done.
Yeah, I think we should get both. Make it work. Sounds good.
Make it work. Get both.
Make it worth. We'll give in Mekhi Becton and Zach Wilson. Anyone that's willing to do the deal.
It depends on. It's honestly, as a Jets fan, you want as many quarterbacks as possible to go top 5 or before your pick because you want one of those 2 tackles to slide to you.
And I do think that will happen.
And if they get Joe Alt or Olu Fashanu, that would be huge for them. And then if they add a T. Higgins or a Devontae Adams
or a Mike Evans
like that would be phenomenal for that offense. Because you bring in Rodgers, you got Breece Hall, you know what he is. The offensive line is the biggest issue there. And another weapon opposite Garrett Wilson. You know what the defense is. So they get one of those tackles and add a premier wide receiver. I don't know. I might have to sprinkle too, except I'm going to have to hear him yap all year.
Okay, now we got a trivia question.
Okay.
I lost it. Hold on.
Drock.
Messing up on the job.
Drock.
Okay. Adrian Peterson last recorded stats on what team?
The last team Peterson recorded stats.
The Lions.
It's not Detroit.
Then I know 2 other. Then it's.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay, Colin.
Wait, when you
I want to say New Orleans.
Seattle. Arizona.
Seattle is the answer.
Seattle.
Woo! I knew it was.
In what year?
2021.
Correct. Right?
It wasn't that long ago. I just couldn't remember if it was Detroit, Seattle, or New Orleans. I knew it was one of those 3.
Okay. Now we're going to Walmart. We got a Felt versus Fans question.
Oh.
Who's the only MVP that didn't play offense or defense? And what team did they play for?
The only MVP did not play offense or defense. And what team did they play? That's got to be
Was it
way
a head
back.
coach? No.
No, it's got to be... it can't be a...
Oh. It's the kicker who's leading in all-time points. Blanda? No.
It's not Janikowski.
It's not Baronis. Wasn't Baronis.
Ron Baronis. We love Ron Baronis. Dude, I have no idea. Who is it?
It's Mark Mosley on the Redskins.
Oh, dude. We knew it was a commander. It had to be a Washington.
Please don't say the Redskins name.
No Redskins allowed on this pod.
Please don't say that unless you want us to cancel you.
Walmart, he actually texted the group chat earlier, and I'm going to ask you guys if any of you know this. He said of the top 20 TV broadcasts in American history, how many of them are Super Bowls of the top 20?
20.
I got it right.
20.
Garrett?
Like 5, maybe.
5? Drock?
I'll be in the middle. I'll go 10.
Caleb?
I have no idea.
I'll take a guess.
7.
19.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I'm
said
gonna go
20.
18.
I nailed it.
What was the one?
19.
I was close. What was the one that wasn't?
Hayes tried finding it, but it was
like
it
the
was tough.
F1 race
No,
that just happened?
it might have been. I think it was the Apollo moon landing,
It's not really
but not positive on that.
it's not really a sports event. Or it was just
It was just TV.
Oh,
broadcast.
Are
oh.
the elections
It's
or
TV
anything were
broadcasts.
bigger than the Super Bowl?
because it's not like one channel that like is showing coverage of it.
All right, we're going to Jerry, Mr. Thrones. General question.
What's up, Cram Man?
I'm not a college football guy, but who are some of the running backs I should have my eye on with my first round, second pick in Dynasty?
First round, second pick. You're not taking a running back there. Sorry, like the way this draft is panning out with running backs. If you did,
No,
I mean,
you are not.
You're just an
You
idiot.
are not.
I mean, there are a couple backs coming in, but they're going to be round 2 guys in Dynasty. Braylon Allen from Wisconsin.
Isn't the Texas guy good?
Yeah, Brooks from Texas. Apparently, he's number 1 on Pro Football Focus's big board.
Yeah.
Blake Corum. Donovan Edwards is the other back from Michigan. Let's see, who else?
Trey Benson from Florida State.
Yep.
Freddie?
There's a couple more, man.
I know the guy from Oak State's good, but he's not
Notre
draft
Dame guy.
eligible yet.
I'm looking up.
Is the Missouri guy going in too? He was pretty good this year.
Frank Gore Jr. is going to be in this class.
Hey, all right, Frank Gore Jr. You're taking it too. I think at 2 you got to go Marvin Harrison if he's there somehow falls. Otherwise, like honestly, if you really need running backs, trade the pick, dude.
So, according
Somebody's going to pay a premium for that. So I'd almost say punt the pick to next year and go get some more capital because people like to pay up on draft day because they get all giddy. So you could turn that number 2 pick into 2 or 3 future picks.
you could.
I'd say that's your best bet if you want to go running back. And
So-
just tank another year.
So, I have the list from NFL Draft Buzz on their back. So, yeah, Jonathan Brooks from Texas, Trey Benson, Blake Corum,
Yeah, but none of them
Travion
are, like-
Henderson from Ohio State, Donovan Edwards, mentioned him, Bucky Irving from Oregon, Braylon
Bucky's
Allen,
kinda sick.
Will Shipley from Clemson,
Yep.
the Great White Hope. Yeah, so, I mean, it's not a good running back class.
I'd
Like,
say-
they're saying there might not be any running backs taken
So trade the pick.
in the top 3 rounds of the NFL draft.
I like that. Trade the pick.
Trade the pick.
All right, last question. Fantasy question.
Ooh.
If Marvin Harrison Jr. was named John Smith, would Neighbors be viewed as better?
So he's saying if he wasn't Marvin
Harris.
Harrison's son.
Yeah.
He could have picked any name. He just gets
John Smith.
John Smith, the most like basic name in America.
John Smith.
I disagree. No, because Marv is 6'4", runs routes better than maybe anyone in the class, and is just as fast as probably everyone in the class except for Neighbors. I just think at his size and the speed he has and the hands he has, Marv is still number 1.
Well, I'd say in a sense, I mean, technically, yeah, in that sense, but that would be getting into a hypothetical loophole here, because then it'd be like, if he was just some other guy's kid, like, he probably wouldn't be getting the best equipment, the best training. Like, your dad played in the NFL, so you're getting the best advice. Like, if he was just John Smith, who's John Smith Sr., didn't play in the NFL, then, you know, you're not getting all that advice at a young age and getting all that, like, put in the best camps to help you succeed as a football player. So I would say yes if we're going to take, like, a really deep dive into it, but if we're just going based
I think it's a
like,
little too deep.
if
It's
we're
just
not taking all
same
those factors
player, I think his question is same exact player. He's just not Marvin Harrison Jr.
I
so
definitely,
he's still the same dude.
I would definitely think it would be more of a debate because I feel like a lot of the casuals are just will say that like just because it's his son, but I'd say he would still go as the number 1 wide receiver. Yes,
That's all the questions we got today.
but you said you Caleb, you got one. You said
Yeah, well, we already covered who has the most to lose in Week 18. So, on the flip side, what is the biggest game for implications and who has the most to gain?
I would say the most to gain would be
I'm going to go Houston just because they didn't win. I mean, I think they have more wins this season than they have like the previous 3 combined. So for a
Hey.
rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach to come in and make the playoffs, like the boost that gives to your team heading into the offseason, like for everyone there, because it's such a young team, like that gives them a ton of confidence. Paired with the cap space they have, like Houston's gearing up to, you know, make a run in the South for several years. So I think for Houston, just as a confidence booster, that'd be huge. I mean, you could say the same for Indy, but it is with a backup quarterback, rookie head coach. They're a more veteran team, I'd say, than Houston. I'm going to go Houston just because the youth aspect to it.
Yeah, I forgot one before. Jacksonville also is in the same category of most to lose, like the Bills. Think about it. Two teams not projected to go far, might end up winning the division still. Jacksonville was 8-3 at one point, and then might end up missing the playoffs, so they have a lot to lose. And then my team would be Green Bay, just because that just says, like, Jordan Love, you got it done this week. You got in the playoffs. And I just think it's huge off a confidence boost there because they're playing with a lot of young guys. They're like the youngest NFL team in the league. And also that means that it's just, maybe another 20 years of Packers having a dominant quarterback. I don't know.
I like that, Reagan. That's a great call.
Another team that has a lot to gain.
It makes them look smart for negotiating that deal with Jordan Love before the season of lowering his fifth-year option.
Yep.
That's a good one as well.
So, Dave, Garrett, you got anything?
I was actually going to parlay into mine because I was going to ask you on Love's first year as a starter. What do you think?
I like what I've seen from him. I think he's doing it with not the best supporting cast. I mean, his quote-unquote wide receiver one has barely played this year. He's been injured a lot, and Christian Watson.
He ain't the one anymore. Jaden Reed's the one.
Jaden Reed seems to be legit, and we've seen flashes from both the tight ends and Kraft and why am I blanking out on
Musgrave? Musgrave's been hurt for the back end of the year.
IR, yes. So we've seen some flashes. He's got some nice weapons there, but I think he's done a lot, and with the defense not being that good.
The defense shit the bed in the back end, and also that offensive line's had a lot of injuries as well.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So a big thing was their offensive line, who was going to be led by Bakhtiari, who's not playing this year. So I think he's done a lot with a lot of injuries to his supporting cast. So he hasn't even had Aaron Jones like the whole season. He's missed a lot of time. So I'm very impressed with what he's done.
I am also impressed. Everything Reagan said, I agree with. The only thing is I'd like to see him be more consistent, but that will come with more games under his belt.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, he's in year 4, but he's played a year's worth of football, a little more than a year's worth of football.
But you like the arm talent that he's shown.
Yeah.
And his decision-making's improving.
Wow, I didn't know that. What does he have?
Yards. He's got 30 touchdowns.
30 passing touchdowns, and I think he has a couple rushing.
I think he was like 4 or 5 rushing.
It's impressive. MVP?
Dark horse next year.
To do that, to throw for 30 touchdowns when you have all these young bucks as your receiving core, and a lot of them been in and out of the lineup, is
essentially in your rookie year, too.
They were too young for Rodgers, but not for Love.
It's also big old fuck you to Aaron Rodgers from the Packers.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Should got Aaron bone melted and maybe we wouldn't have had him.
All right, guys, that wraps up the questions. When we get back, we're going to break down the final week of the regular season.
Oh, hey, didn't see you guys there. Don't mind me, I'm just using Worst Manhattan's Store Finder tool to find a location near me. Here I am. Store Finder tool told me, Calathon, and now I'm here. So let's go get a bottle of Worst Manhattans. Let's go, come on. Excuse me, miss, can you show us where the Worst Manhattans is?
It's on the back wall by the mixers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh, Reagan, I found it right here on the back wall.
Wow, all thanks to the Store Finder tool on the Worst Manhattan's website.
The best.
The best.
All right, we're back. Reagan, you ready to get rolling?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's start off. Saturday football, baby. Pittsburgh, 3.5-point favorite at Baltimore. The over-under 35. Baltimore is starting Tyler Huntley in this one. Reagan, are you still going to back the Ravens, or are you going to go Pittsburgh?
No, I'm going Pittsburgh here. I had Baltimore, but wait. I don't know, man, because I want to say Pittsburgh, and I honestly am thinking about it again because I'm like...
You have Pittsburgh in the sheet.
That's what I'm saying.
But you have Baltimore covering the 3.5.
Yeah, so I ended up taking them because I just feel like this game, like, will just be close no matter what. Like, no matter who's playing in this game, it just seems like it's going to be tight. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take the Steelers to win by a field goal because they need it more, and the Ravens have obviously not a lot of their supporting cast. And also the Steelers like to play close games, especially when they're favored. They really like to make it close. So, yeah, that's where I landed on. Reasoning, it's because it's a division game in the AFC North.
Yeah, this is a tough one. The hook really bothers me because I could totally see him winning by a field goal. Yep. I did end up taking Pittsburgh to win and cover just because they have a lot more to play for in this one, obviously, like to get into the playoffs. So I think their foot's going to be in the gas, and Mason Rudolph's playing good football. However, it is a divisional game. I don't like the 3.5 because I don't trust this Pittsburgh offense, really, even with Rudolph. But ultimately, I went with the team that has a lot more to play for in this one. And if Mike Tomlin gets a 10-7 season out of this team, given their quarterback situation all year, starting 3 guys, be very impressive. All right, the night game. Houston, -1 at Indianapolis. The over-under, 47.5. Reagan, you taking the Colts?
Oh, I'm taking the Colts. I'm very confident they win here. The biggest reason, I know everyone and their mother's going to be backing the Texans. Oh, they're so fun. Oh, C.J. Stroud, he's so good. Nah, dude, the Colts are going to roll here. You know, like, tell me I'm wrong. You know the public's going to be on the Texans heavy.
I'd say, yeah, will probably be on Houston.
Yeah, so that's why I'm going with the Colts because I feel like everyone's going to take the Texans here.
I'm going Houston. They have a better quarterback. They have a better defense.
Debatable.
You think Gardner Minshew's better than C.J. Stroud?
I mean, I could debate it. Doesn't mean I believe it.
You'd be the only one that would believe it.
I could debate it. Don't mean I believe it.
Stroud is better. Indianapolis is 1-3 against the spread in their last 4. Not a good sign. I think C.J. Stroud balls out in this one. I like his overpassing yards. I think he destroys this secondary. He clinches his Rookie of the Year. And Houston, in year 1 under DeMeco Ryans, goes to the playoffs.
They dancing. And that was going to be our big bet. Did we come to grips on one yet?
Yeah, we don't really have a punishment for this one.
We've been thinking. Maybe you guys listening to this want to drop one in the comments. We're all ears because we're trying to come up with something to do for this.
Yeah, this is our big bet of the week. But we couldn't come to a conclusion on a punishment. So we're going to have to keep you guys posted. But we would love ideas because when you get to Week 18 in the NFL season, it's tough to think of something.
Let alone finding a matchup that we could both... this is like one of the few games that actually both teams are trying.
Yeah, I mean, we've done...
full supporting cast.
We've done so much fucked up shit all season, you start running out of fucked up shit to do. So
maybe eat like 20 White Castle burgers.
Dude, I'm not trying to...
Great box.
Oh, I don't want...
Great box?
It's 30 burgers. And I've only put down like 10 and it gets...
Yeah, it gets hard, yeah.
I don't want to do any more food ones, man. I'm tired of yakking.
What the...
I've seen you eat at least like 20 of those burgers before.
It's no punishment for Big Rags.
No competition.
Like, could be way worse on me than Big Rags over here.
Maybe it's a challenge.
Yeah.
We'll think about it. We'll revisit.
Well, you got to order everything off the Taco Bell
I was
menu.
just going to say that.
Oh, should
That's
we do
a
it?
genius idea.
Just go to
It's
Taco
not
Bell.
that much. And you got to eat it in Taco Bell.
I don't want to do that.
Is there a specific you don't want to do no food challenges?
No, dude. I'm trying to lose weight, not gain weight. I'm tired of yakking, bro.
Buzz
I
cut?
hate it. No, I'm not doing a buzz.
Pink hair?
No, Jake already proposed that dumb idea. I'm not doing that.
Man.
We'll think about it. We'll revisit. We'll talk about it over the break.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah. We'll have something for Saturday. So if you guys are listening, drop something in the comments on the platform you're listening on, and let's figure this out, huh?
All right, next, Cleveland at Cincinnati. The Bengals are a 7-point favorite with Cleveland resting a lot of their starters. The over-under 37.5. Reagan, I know you've been beating the drum for the Browns. Without Joe Flacco, do they still win this game?
No, man. I don't have, just because of all the opt-outs and stuff, I do think they can, I don't know. I went back and forth on the cover. I definitely think the Bengals win here just because they're going to be playing their full supporting cast, but I landed on the Bengals winning and covering here.
I'm going to go Bengals to win, Browns to cover. It's a very low total, and even without Flacco, I think this team, specifically in the defensive end, can stay competitive.
PJ Walker's starting too.
No, it's Jeff Driscoll.
Oh, yeah, because I know DTR got, he's on IR or
Yes,
whatever.
and they decided to start Jeff Driscoll, which is their 5th starting quarterback this season.
Impressive. If you told me that coming into the year, I would have said they definitely missed the playoffs.
Yeah,
But
I would.
no.
I would too. Very impressive out of Kevin Stefanski in his Coach of the Year bid. I do think the Browns cover in this one. But
Bills.
then again, when you got your 5th quarterback in the season, not something I'm necessarily confident in.
Fair enough.
Next, Tampa Bay -4.5 at Carolina. The over/under 37.5. Reagan, do the Bucks cover here?
So I had the Bucks winning, but Carolina covering here because they're at home and they also already played them tough in Tampa Bay during like a tsunami in the first half. So yeah, I think the Panthers can cover here, but I think the Bucks ultimately get it done because they need it. But I do think the Panthers try to play spoiler here and get damn near close.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay actually has something to play for. Obviously, Carolina does not, and Carolina's got blown out 26-0 by the Jags last week. Just seems like they're packing it in. Tampa Bay's going to come in motivated. Baker wants to get back to the playoffs. Mike Evans, towards the tail end of his career, I'm sure he wants to make the playoffs again. At the end of the day, I don't think anyone in Carolina is going to be able to cover Evans and maybe Godwin. Tampa Bay does enough to cover the 4.5 in my eyes. All right, Reagan. Our two teams.
One last ride with the boys.
One last ride with the boys. Atlanta at New Orleans. New Orleans 3.5-point favorite. The over/under 42. You all know Reagan's taking the Saints. I'm taking the Falcons.
You already know who we're taking.
My note is riding with the boys one last time.
One last ride before I get punished because of the boys.
Yeah, well, me too. You know what sucks? We're going back and forth all year between these two teams. and both unders hit. We both lost. It's just brutal. I hope this is the last time we have to watch this offense with Arthur Smith. Like, please just get rid of his ass. I don't care if you go 8-9. It's a respectable record. You're going to be stuck in purgatory with Arthur Smith.
I want playoff card, baby. I want playoff card. And the lights get bright. I just want him to. You know what? At this point, I've decided I want him to win the Super Bowl MVP, just so I could be like, see, that's got to count for something, right?
Yeah, that would be crazy. No shot it happens, and there's a better likelihood of him getting cracked in the playoffs. He's hurt, and he's yelling at all his boys on the sideline as they get blown out. I'm not gonna lie. That's what I think is more likely to happen.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I mean, this is more of an emotional pick here, honestly. Like,
Me too. I don't have any stats to back this up. Atlanta sucks on the road. Whoever's at quarterback, they suck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if stats matter in this matchup. Like, after we saw last week, all the stats said the Bucs should roll and the Saints come out and win. And then next week, I'm not going to be surprised. Honestly, nothing in this matchup will surprise me. Like, it's ugly. And I was like, you know what? Instead of tossing and turning, like, who should I take? I can't sleep. I was just like, I'm going to take the Saints.
You can't sleep over the Saints-Falcons pick?
Couldn't sleep, man. Couldn't sleep.
Oh, man.
I like the Saints.
All right. I feel more confident now. Drox Lock, Taysom Hill, anytime?
We'll see.
Spicy. Next, the Jags, -3.5 at Tennessee. The Jags need to win to make it.
But they don't. Vrabel and the boys play spoiler. My upset pick of the week, like I said yesterday.
Oh!
Titans get a big win here. Knock them frauds out of the playoffs. Bye-bye. See you later. Derrick Henry, big game. Titans get it done. Book it, slam it, take it, shake and bake, whatever around the felt catchphrase. Slang that thing. Ryan Tannehill, Levis, I don't care. They're doing it. Derrick Henry, 2 passing touchdowns. All right, maybe that's a little too much. But
Derrick Henry, 2 passing touchdowns.
But no, the Titans get it done here. I just think they want to play spoiler, and at this point, it's probably Derrick Henry's last game as a Titan, so I think it's going to mean a lot to him, and he's going to have a big game.
If the Titans win, it's going to have to be with Derrick Henry's arm. Because last week they had 187 total yards and scored 3 points with Tannehill leading the offense. Yeah. So, I mean, I respect Vrabel's press conference saying, I want to win. It fucking sucks losing. Like, you want to play for a coach like that. When everything's done,
maybe they could get Josh Dobbs back for one more time.
One more ride.
A little more Dobbs magic,
with Dobbs.
baby.
But Tennessee's 0-5 against the spread and 0-5 straight up against the division this year. That is not a tendency I'm going to go against. I'm going to go Jacksonville to win and cover, even with a beat-up Trevor Lawrence. They're going to survive. They're going to squeak into the playoffs. I think they will be a first-round exit, though. But I don't think Tennessee has enough in the tank, even with the pissed-off Mike Vrabel.
I just got to take a couple of them because I know for a fact it's not easy. It's like it seems like, oh, I'll just bet on every team that needs to play here to win, and every team that has nothing to play for, I'm going to not take them. So you got to sprinkle in a little bit of those teams because you know for a fact there's no way in hell every team that needs to win is going to win. Let's be honest. Because otherwise Vegas would get smacked this week. And the house always wins.
That's a fair point, I guess.
It's a very fair point.
All right, Reagan. Your Jets. The last time you got to watch these bums play all year.
Well,
they're at the Pats. The Pats 2.5-point favorites. The over-under, very low, 30.5, as you would expect with these offenses. Reagan, are you backing your Jets?
Well, I will say I'm not backing the Jets. I think the Patriots get to 16 in a row here in this epic quarterback battle.
I was going to ask you if you knew how many in a row. You ruined it.
Well, it's going to be 16 in a row. You think I don't know that? Because they've been doing it all week. And I hope they don't break it. I don't want Trevor Siemian to break the streak against Bailey Zappi. I want it to be next year when the Patriots are at least good and we got Rodgers and be like, and go and smack them. Like, if we smack them, I'm going to be like, great. And also then that means the Patriots might get a quarterback like Drake May or Caleb Williams. So if they keep the streak one more game, and they don't get the quarterback that's going to destroy us for the next 20 years with Belichick, I'm all right with it.
Reagan's thinking chess, not checkers with this one. I'm going to go New England as well. Like Reagan mentioned, 15 in a row against the Jets. They beat them earlier in the year at MetLife. Now they're back in New England. The Jets have not won on the road since late October. Been over 2 months since they won a game on the road. Is Trevor Siemian going to get that done? Fuck no. He's not doing it. Absolutely not. The Patriots in that Sunday night game upset the Broncos in Denver when the Broncos were hot. That was a great win. And last week they kept it real close against Buffalo, even with Zappi throwing 3 INTs. And I think there is no way in hell, if this is Belichick's potentially last game in New England, he's going to lose the damn Jets. He's not going out like that. Yeah, I mean, because he was the Jets coach. He resigned after an hour and then went to New England.
Yes, I'm aware. We got draft picks for that trade.
Yeah, you did. How'd those pan out? There's no way, if this is his last game in New England, he's losing to the Jets.
I don't think we got 6 Super Bowls out of those draft picks. I don't think so.
In my mind, everything screams New England. So the Jets are going to win and fuck up their draft pick.
Probably, yeah. No, yeah, exactly.
But I'm still taking New England.
Me too, man.
All right, Reagan, let's get one more in before a quick break. Minnesota at Detroit. The lines are a 3.5-point favorite.
Oh, you already know who I'm taking.
The over-under 45.5.
I'm taking slanging that thing.
Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins. I think I don't even care what the line is. That's going to be my parlay.
Nick, slang that thing, Mullins.
Yeah, dude, I'm taking, call him Shawnee Moe, call him Nick Moe, slang that thing. I'm rocking with the Vikings this week. They're getting the win here. They're covering here, and Nick Mullins is going to slang that thing. I think you could sprinkle a little bit on 400 plus. No, but in all reality, whatever his line is, I'm putting that in as my parlay leg this week because he can slang that.
I actually disagree here. I think Detroit rolls. That controlled fury by Dan Campbell and the boys after that debacle in Dallas last week. I think they're going to come out pissed off.
Okay.
Their defense, probably their best showing of the year last week. They held Dallas to 20, which was the first time Dallas was held below 30 all season at home. That's something to build off of going to Week 18 in the playoffs. And Minnesota, as we know, we all thought they were going to roll last week against Green Bay, the way that defense looked, and they got absolutely smacked. So with the pissed off Detroit team, led by Dan Campbell, who will be aggressive in this one, and hopefully the defense can build off last week, I think Detroit rolls here.
Fair enough. Fade slang that thing.
Fair enough. I think he could still throw for 400 and they lose by a touchdown, though.
Fair enough.
All right.
Wait, we gotta decide on the podcast. When you say slanging that thing, who's the first quarterback that comes to your mind right now?
Michael Penix Jr.
Wow. All right. What about you, Garrett? When you hear slang that thing, who comes to mind?
Baker Mayfield, baby.
Baker.
I thought you said Jacob Mayfield. What about you, Dave?
Tyrod Taylor. Only to Hyatt. That's it.
Only to Hyatt.
Only slanging a Hyatt.
Probably Desmond Ritter.
The last guy who slings that thing.
The gunslinger himself.
Josh Allen comes up, too, because that dude, when you see him just cork one up and chuck it downfield, it's a touchdown or there's a safety just over top he didn't see and he's picking it off. So Josh Allen is the definition of a gunslinger. All right, let's take a quick break.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Caleb from Around the Felt. As you can see, I'm not wearing my Around the Felt sweatshirt today. It's because we had a little back order issue, manufacturing issue, but those will be back up for sale soon on AroundTheFeltSports.com, so make sure you stay tuned.
All right, guys, welcome back in. After that long-awaited break, we are going to finish out our final regular season predictions.
And we're going to start with Chicago at Green Bay. The Packers are 3-point favorites at home. The over-under 45. That's a big one for me and Drock because we bet preseason Bears over-under 7.5. So you guys know what I'm taking. I'm going Packers. The Packers own the Bears. They own them. Even without Aaron Rodgers, they own them. I think Jordan Love continues his hot streak off last week, although he won't have as good as a game because his Bears defense is a different animal than Minnesota's. But at home, give me the Packers by a touchdown. Jaden Reed gets in the end zone.
I'm rocking with Drock and the Bears. The main reason is you could say, all right, the Bears have nothing to play for. They have everything to play for. Come on. A team that everyone's saying owns you. You have the first overall pick locked up already. The fans want Justin Fields. So what's Justin Fields going to do? He's going to go off. They're going to beat the Packers by double digits, ending their playoff hopes. I said it, double digits. Justin Fields scores anytime. I'm taking his rushing yards over. Maybe Drock Lock in this game. I don't know.
100 yards rushing?
Don't do it because I can't take Drock's Lock.
I feel very confident in the Bears this week to get it done.
This game scares the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie to you.
I honestly haven't seen you
the
shake
Packers,
this much
the
before.
Packers are so streaky, man. They either look really good or really bad.
It's going to be a fun game to watch
I don't know.
this week.
It will be a fun game. That's for sure. All right, a game that probably not a lot of people are excited to watch. Denver at Las Vegas. Raiders are a 3-point favorite at home. The over-under 38. Reagan, which quarterback you taking? Stidham or O'Connell in this one?
This was a tough one because, honestly, what the hell does this game matter at this point?
It's gross. I'm going to tell you, I took the Raiders. Emotional pick because I'm rooting for Antonio Pierce. It's really all I got for you. Devontae Adams, the beast last week. However, Pat Surtain's probably going to be on him this week. Tough matchup. Can that offense cook like they did without Adams being a huge part of it? I don't think so at all. But the defense for Las Vegas is playing well right now. It seems like Adams came out and said he wants Pierce to be the guy. Crosby said he came out and wants Pierce to be the guy. I think they're going to play hard for him. I'm rooting for Pierce. That's why I'm taking the Raiders.
I took the Broncos only because I was like, you know what? I'll take the points. I would have taken the Raiders if the Raiders had the points. I don't know, man. Like what stats and like points can I give out when it's all backups? You know what I mean? It's tough. So
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah,
like,
it's
I
a
could
tough
say
game
a
to
million
pick.
things to try and convince you.
Flip a
dude, but
coin,
Nobody
flip a coin.
freaking knows. Just give me the points. I'll flip a coin right now if I could find one. Yeah,
Ask
I can.
Siri.
Oh yeah.
Say, hey Siri, flip a coin. Head, Raiders win. Tails, Broncos win.
Siri.
Reagan doesn't know how to ask Siri something. Hey Siri,
Hey Siri.
flip a coin. Tails, Denver.
All right. So I win.
Denver.
Collins wrong. Next game.
So we already chalked that one down. I hit the sheet. Next, another game that no one gives a shit about. The Chiefs are at the Chargers. Chargers a 3.5-point favorite with Blaine Gabbert starting for KC. The over-under is 35. Reagan, I'd love to know what you picked here and why.
It's another one, dude. Where it's just like the Chiefs clinched, so at least you could make the case like they're a good team. But I went with the Chargers because Easton Stick actually has some stuff to prove here in the sense that he's
What do you
playing.
mean? Blaine Gabbert wants to stay in the league a little longer?
Yeah, I
Keep
think-
collecting those
I
paychecks?
think we know what he is, but Easton Stick, like he's got to take as much advantage of the opportunities as possible. So I think he has a lot to gain here. So I'm going to go with the guy that's going to be playing fired up and has something to prove here.
All right. So I'm taking the Chiefs.
What do you mean?
Don't really know why. Give me the points. One thing, though. Hammer cock lock. Travis Kelce will have 16 yards. He needs 16 yards for 1,000 to
Are
make
we
it
sure?
8 consecutive years.
Are we sure? I mean, he drops the ball a lot.
He has been dropping the rock. You know, too much time. Never mind.
What I will say is,
See the picture of him with the hickey on his neck too?
I did not.
Yeah.
I did not. Yeah, too much
Spending
time with
too
T
much time.
Swift.
so if there's a line for Kelsey of like 40 or 50 yards, I'm taking the under. Because as soon as he gets that 16 yards, you know they're taking him
Yes,
out.
because they asked Reed, like, is Kelsey going to play? And he said, we'll see. He's playing to get 1,000 yards.
I honestly,
And then he's getting pulled.
I honestly don't even think they're going to put out lines for like half those players like that. Like there probably won't be a Kelsey line.
Yeah, and if there is a Kelsey line, it's probably going to be like 20,
I wouldn't touch it.
which I wouldn't touch that because you can do it in one catch. Like you
I
know what
wouldn't
mean?
even
But
touch him this.
I think once he
anytime
gets
touchdown
16, he's
score.
pulled. He's pulled.
This
Yep.
would be the week he scores though after.
Yeah, he'll score in
It
the
would
first
be,
drive.
right?
He'll
It
score in
would-
the first
He'll
drive
score
and
the
be
second-
pulled.
Gabbert to Kelsey, and he comes out, and it's like, dude, like, come on.
Dude,
You screwed me in 2 leagues.
Blaine.
Blaine's the one that gets him a touchdown. That'd be
Yeah.
funny. All right, Dallas, 13-point favorites on the road at Washington. The over-under, 46. Reagan, do the Commanders cover that fat spread?
They do, and this is my reasoning why. I think Dallas gets a big in the first half, then benches all their important players because they're like, we could just coast and not risk Dak getting injured. So I think we see Cooper Rush, a lot of the starters, or I'm sorry, we see Cooper Rush coming for Dak, and a lot of the starters also get replaced. So I think Washington then starts to chip, and then they cover.
chip.
So yeah, but the Dallas wins, yes.
I agree. Dallas wins. Washington covers.
I do like Washington's second half money line though.
Washington's a shit team, but they historically play Dallas tough. It just seems like every year.
Yeah.
You don't expect them to. Also helps that it's not in Dallas. If this game was in Dallas, I'm sure that spread would be close, like 17 points.
Shit would be fat.
Shit would be fat.
Fat.
But, I mean, honestly, I think Sam Howell has a lot to prove in this game heading
So
into
he
the
gonna be
offseason.
slanging that thing?
He's got to slang that thing if he wants to have a job next year. So, I mean,
He's gonna be employed.
It's an ugly game.
not
He's
starting
unemployed, but a starting job. He's got to prove something. This Commanders. I mean, you don't even want to say front office because who knows if they're going to be there. The coaching staff, they might not be there. How about ownership? Show ownership that you can be the guy, and they could target something else in the draft.
There's a lot of question
potentially
marks,
a tackle, but that's why ultimately I think Washington gets the cover, but they fall short. Dallas is way more talented. All right, Philly, 5-point favorite. The Frauds at the Giants. The over-under 42. Reagan, how do you see this one going?
Philly win, Philly cover. Yeah, they just need it so freaking bad at this point. Like, for seeding purposes, like, also, like, there still is a chance, like, obviously I don't think Dallas loses, but, like, Philly has to win this game still, so even though they're essentially locked into that 5 spot, they have to play it like they're not, that they still can win the division, so. And the Giants really don't have much to play for at this point, so I'll just take a low line of a team that we know is going to be playing hard.
Yeah, I'm going to take Philly to win, but Giants will cover in this one.
Wow, okay.
Giants played the Rams really tough last week. Philly dropped to Arizona. Now this game is in MetLife. I mean, the Giants played Philly close on Christmas Day
Well, it's going to be 75-25 Philly.
in the stands.
I'd say so. Why would Giants fans
Probably.
really want to go to this?
I'll be there. I'll be at the game.
Yeah.
So I'll be cheering. I can make up for the other Giants fans not there.
All right, so let's see. How do you do it when a Birds fan's getting loud? Like, what do you say?
I'm not getting into that because it's, a lot of
You
bad
go,
words.
Oi! This is my home stadium.
Oi! Get out of here. Go back to your scumbag city, you frauds. Eagles, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm only taking the Giants because I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. That Eagles defense is terrible. Tyrod's going to slang that thing and find Jalen Houghton a deep ball for a touchdown. Calling it a 50-yard bomb, maybe 40. I'll hedge my bet. 40-yard bomb. Giants cover, but at the end of the day, they don't have the firepower to keep up with Philly's offense.
Okay, so like hypothetically, you see a kid sitting in a Carson Wentz jersey, or hypothetically, you see a kid rocking a Nick Foles jersey. What do you say to him? Maybe a Nick Foles and a Zach Ertz jersey. What do you say to them?
Those guys are fine. Foles Super Bowl MVP. Carson Wentz, yeah, I'm gonna talk my shit. Be like, dude, get a new jersey. That guy sucked and he's been off the team for how many years?
So you're saying you wouldn't chirp a kid for wearing a Nick Foles jersey?
Well, how old's the kid?
All right, dude, our age.
12.
Yeah, he's 12.
I'm not saying anything to a 12-year-old.
All right, he's 15.
He's 34.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that you bring that up, like that's a funny story. So my pops, LT, was at Buffalo Wild Wings Sunday watching the games. And, of course, Philly dropped one to Arizona.
Uh-huh.
And everyone in the Buffalo Wild Wings was getting excited because they hate the Eagles. Big New York sports city crowd.
Yeah, of course.
And there was one lady there, an old lady that was an Eagles fan.
Okay.
And this little kid, this 10-year-old kid, was a Cardinals fan. And he was like, chirping her a little bit. It's a fucking 10-year-old kid.
Wait,
apparently,
how do you know he was 10?
Guesstimate
Okay, all right.
age.
Facts are important.
10 to 12.
Facts are important.
I got you. So this like 10-year-old Cardinals fan starts chirping her. And this old lady fucking screams at him.
As
was
she
so
should.
pissed.
As she should.
And
Talk
everyone was
shit.
like, boo, get out of here. She got booed out of Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's why the
Classic Philly scum. Classic Philly scum.
Okay.
Yelling at a freaking 10-year-old Cardinals fan.
But back to my
Kids just happy their team won. They barely win.
Back to my hypothetical. If you see a kid, if you see like, I don't know, someone our age, so you see like two 25-year-olds rocking, one's rocking Nick Foles, the other one's rocking Zach Ertz. What are you saying?
Nothing. I'm fine with those jerseys. I'm fine.
Only if
Super
it's-
Bowl MVP.
And they're chirping you, saying, "Where the Giants gonna be next week?"
Yeah.
Also, like, Nick Foles is, like, not in the league anymore.
Okay, so it only works when it's Packers fans wearing a Rodgers jersey.
If I
and
saw
a Davante Adams
if I
jersey.
saw a Packers fan wearing a Rodgers jersey in 3 to 5 years, I wouldn't say anything because that's a legend of the franchise. But the fact that he still is in the league and he's on the Jets, don't like it. Ertz, free agent. Foles, not in the league. Boom. Shut the fuck up.
Or you're just afraid of Philly.
Get
They're
owned.
tough.
Get owned.
No, it's fine. You're afraid of Philly fans. You're not afraid of the cheeseheads. I get it. Philly's better fighters. Cheeseheads, they can't fight. They can just eat cheese.
Well, definitely. Like, I know you're making that a joke, but I actually agree with that point. My dad, when he went to Lambeau in 2007 for the NFC Championship, said Packers fans were the nicest fans you'll ever meet. Like, they were shaking his hand, congratulating him like he was on the team.
What'd your dad
So
say?
I'd
Get
imagine.
out of my way! I'm going to the Super Bowl, baby!
So I'd imagine that Philly fans are probably better fighters than Green Bay fans.
Safe to say. I know one, his let's just call him, Ham Sup. He's a pretty tough fighter. he's a Philly boy.
He's actually a Jersey boy, but he just roots for the Eagles.
All right, maybe another one. We'll call him Nevin Tanderson. He's a pretty tough fighter.
His name is John Smith.
John Smith.
Hypothetically, I know a John Smith that went from being a Giants fan to an Eagles fan.
Hypothetically, if John Smith was in a Packers hat and John Smith was in the Eagles hat, you're more scared of him he's in the Eagles hat.
Yes.
All right.
Unless his dad's Marvin Harrison Sr. Then I'm terrified.
Then I'm terrified he's in any hat.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on, dude. We spend too much time talking about those damn frauds.
It's week 18.
Yep.
The
That's what happens
Rams
when you get
at
to
the
week 18.
Niners. The Niners are 4-point favorites at home. The over-under 41. It's the battle of two former number 2 overall picks in Carson Wentz and Sam Darnold. Reagan, which quarterback are you backing?
I'm going to back the one that's actually was good at a point in his career. I'm backing Wentz. Like, Darnold, man, like, he would probably look good if the full supporting cast of the Niners were playing, which they're not. So I'm going to take Wentz. Also, Nakua is going to be playing in this, so I'll take Wentz and however long he gets of Nakua.
Do you think if Nakua breaks the record, similar to Kelsey getting 1,000, they pull him? I think that's likely.
Yeah,
I don't think he
it
plays the
is.
full game. What does he need, like 40?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So, but also, like, yeah, so, but I'll still take that. Like, if you get a quarter of Nakua, like, that's a big quarter to have. So I'm taking the Rams here. I'm looking for all the little bits and pieces of why I can get behind it because there's not a lot of some of these matchups. There's not a lot of info to really get behind.
Yeah, this one's tough because neither team has anything to play for here. A lot of backups. I'm just going to go with the battle of the backups. I'm going to take the more talented team, and also the Niners are 7-1-1 against the spread in their last 9 with the Rams.
If the Rams lose, are they locked into the 6th seed? Like, if they were to lose, could they not get the 7th seed?
I think they're locked in the 6th.
They got to be, right? Because otherwise,
they'd be playing Stafford.
Yeah, because if you're not locked into the 6 and you get the 7, like in the off chance that it's a 6 versus 7, you'd be fools for just like resting guys.
Yeah, with last week's win over the Giants, I think they're locked into the 6. So that's why Stafford's not playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Niners 7-1-1 against the spread in their last 9 against the Rams. Shanahan owns McVay. Battle of the backups. I'm going to take the team at home. All right, Seattle 3-point favorites on the road at Arizona. Arizona coming off that big win in Philly. The over-under 48. Reagan, you taking Seattle, or does Arizona steal another one towards the end of the season?
I took Seattle here just because I feel like they need it. Well, I mean, I don't feel like it. They do need it. So I'm taking Seattle here strictly because of that. It's not a lot of points, so it's 3.5. I'm like, you know what? I'll take it. It's one story when it's the Baltimore Ravens, a team that is going to be the 1 seed. It's another story when it's a Cardinals team that really has nothing to play for and at this point. And I feel like they used up a lot of their magic last week.
Yeah, I'm going to take Seattle as well. However, as a Giants fan, I'm rooting very hard for Arizona.
Wow.
Very hard. Because
nice
if Arizona wins and the Giants lose, thanks to their win last week by Arizona, Giants can pass them in the draft, which is big time considering if Arizona's ahead of them, good chance a team moves up to Arizona's spot to jump the Giants for a quarterback, or the Arizona Cardinals could just take Marvin Harrison right in front of the Giants if that's the direction they want to go.
How does that work when you go to the Giants game? And like, how do you act as a fan?
Yeah, I was going to say.
So what are you going to be acting like?
It's a win-win, I guess, right? We beat the Birds, or we get...
we beat the Birds, and it's really funny, but it hurts our draft position. Or we lose. Hopefully Arizona wins. Washington
Arizona's
wins.
at 4 o'clock, so you'll have no idea what's happening in that game.
Actually,
so watching that game, and what do you do as a fan?
Actually, I will know what's going on in that game because I'm sitting in a box, so they have TVs.
No, it's a 4 o'clock game.
Yeah,
so is the Giants.
Is it?
Yeah, Giants.
Oh, I thought the Giants was 1 o'clock. Why are they playing
at 4?
That's odd.
Flex.
Because Philly and Dallas play at the same time.
It's just always so weird to have like East Coast teams playing at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so
they're
both going on at 4.
Okay, all right, never mind then.
I'm taking Seattle
just for good about it, you know.
Just because, like you mentioned, they have a lot more to play for here, and Arizona had a huge win last week. But then again, we talked about Arizona's wins; they're all against like good teams, you know. Like
Seattle's
they could
mid,
play.
So.
They could. Yeah, they are mid.
So that might not fit into the category of what they're good at beating.
But, I mean, I don't know. Could they play Spoiler at home? I sure hope so. But at the end of the day, I do think Seattle, under Pete Carroll, gets it done. All right, last game. Huge one.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football. Buffalo, 2.5-point favorite on the road at Miami.
Which is wild.
The over-under 48.5. It is a wild spread. It is a wild spread.
So I'm taking the Dolphins here, my man. I'm going to take the Dolphins to get here. Big bounce-back game. They will not knock the Bills out of the playoffs because, like I said, the Jaguars are losing, so the Bills will still get the... I guess they would get... I'm not sure how it works, and I guess it would depend, but they'll be the 6 or 7 seed then because of this loss. But I think the Bills will be going in a little more eased, which will be the reason why the Dolphins win, because they'll be coming in and they're going to be like, oh, we're all locked into the playoffs now. We don't need all that energy. And I feel like that's going to play a factor into it. The fact that the Jaguars lost early in the day, so the Bills more like you have to win, where it's now like, well, if we lose, we're still locked in. So a lot of that like tension and like all those like feelings and getting all amped up goes away. So I'm taking the Dolphins here. Tyreek Hill, huge game.
I will say, could he go for the record? Go over 200?
Yes.
That'd be crazy. That'd be
You're
crazy.
Right here first.
I will say, Miami being at home really, really, really helps them in this one.
Of course.
But
warm weather, cold weather.
The Bills demolished Miami earlier in the season in Buffalo.
Yeah, in Buffalo.
And I know it was the Ravens that Miami played last week, but they let up 56 points. No Bradley Chubb, no Jalen Phillips. They're thin on the defensive front. I think it's a big James Cook game. And I think a lot of people are going to take Miami, knowing that they can get 2.5 points for the home team and a team that has a better record, going for the division. But I'm going to back the Bills, man. It's minus 2.5. I'm going to take them to win and cover. Big James Cook game. Josh Allen punches another one in.
Are we cooking with Cook this week?
We're cooking with Cook.
We should have cooked last week on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, that's crazy. You got stuffed, and they want to keep tush pushing.
About taking Cook is Josh Allen. It's this play on the 3-yard second line.
That's why you don't take Swift either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to take Swift. I mean, I can't believe Swift is in the Pro Bowl too. Also, like we didn't even talk about that. That pissed me off.
Who'd you put it over?
The Pro Bowl. Barkley.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like, is there any? I mean, White, I guess you could say he had a good year. I mean, Kyron got in and McCaffrey. Those were the two that, like,
Yeah. Well, Barkley's an
no-doubters.
alternate. Like,
But those are the two no-doubters that had to get in was Kyron and McCaffrey. And after that, it's all a crap.
I'm just saying, put Barkley on that offense. He doesn't get tackled to one every play. Like, less tush pushes for Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like hypotheticals, so.
Yeah, I know you hate that argument every time, but I think any running back can make the Pro Bowl in that offense. Just my opinion. I don't think Swift is a Pro Bowler.
All right.
Don't think he's that good. We're gonna end the
Fair
pod.
enough. You make sure you tell all those Eagles fans.
We're gonna end the
that,
pod just shitting on Philly one more time.
Just so you know.
Just one more time.
Just so you know. Your running back didn't deserve the Pro Bowl. Mine did. And they're like, buddy, we're worried about the playoffs next year, all right? Or next week. Yeah, but just so you know, Barkley should have made it over Swift.
All right, dude. All right. All right, guys. That wraps up this week's pod. We'll see you next week when we break down the playoff games.
Let's go.